Welcome to Screenwriting Essentials: Improving the Read. With nearly 3 decades of professional screenwriting experience, Tom Vaughan has written for major buyers, including Warner Brothers, Sony Pictures, Disney, ABC, NBC, TBS, CBS, Miramax, and Castle Rock Entertainment. His most recent film, Haunting of the Queen Mary, followed Winchester, which starred Academy Award-winner Helen Mirren and Sarah Snook. He has developed projects for Matthew McConaughey, Nicolas Cage, Barry Sonnenfeld, and others. Some of his other produced screenplays include Unstoppable with Wesley Snipes and Critical Assembly with Katherine Heigl. His script, Daddy's Girl, is slated for a first quarter 2026 production and is out to cast now with Jonas Ackerlund directing. He has taught screenwriting for over 20 years, including his current position at his beloved alma mater, the University of Houston.
This is where we are going with the theoretical and the job of the screenwriter. Now, the old job is to create a document to be filmed. You have heard this about a blueprint. It's a blueprint for a movie. And this was back in the old studio days where all the scripts were written in-house for the studio. And they had a process and everything was kind of uniform. And the document was written for the crew. It was written for the director. It was written for the actors. It was written for the sound team. It was written for the costume designers, and everyone had to work off the same document. That's why you'll still see stuff like, do this for sound, like all caps for sound, and all this totally unnecessary stuff that has nothing to do with us when we are writing on spec. Because now, as when we write on spec, we're not creating a document to be filmed yet. That's the plan, and that's the hope, and that's hopefully the future. But for right now, we are creating a document to be read. You are a storyteller. That is your job. You are the storyteller, and you tell them the story. Within this writing, you want to build a relationship with the reader. You want to build trust with the reader. And you have to gain their confidence. They have to feel like they're in good hands. And the way to gain the reader's confidence is to write with confidence. We talk a lot about voice what people are looking for is voice. They're looking for an individual, unique voice. But you do not find your voice. You develop your voice. So I want you to stop thinking of voice as something magical or mystical and just see it purely as specificity plus confidence plus point of view. It is something completely within your control. When you are writing on spec, your writing is more in common with copywriting than narrative fiction. And a lot of people compare narrative, like novel writing and literature, to screenwriting, and like where they compare and where they're different. But narrative fiction, short stories, novels, like that is the final step. Just having someone read it, that experience for them is the point. Someone reading your book is the point of the book. Like the experience they have. It's really kind of magical in that sense. And you're done. That experience is over. But like copywriting, when you write on spec, when you write speculative, and speculative means you are writing for free and you have no idea if you're going to make money off of this thing, you require one more step to be successful. And that is yes. You need to get to yes. That when someone reads your screenplay, they are not done. They now have a step. Do they say yes? And you need yes from the low-level reader. You need yes from the producer, from the agent. You need from the director and the actor. You constantly need whoever is reading this to say yes. Constantly. It is not done. This is a step towards something else. And so the whole point of this spec script is to get to that next level, is to get to yes. The best way to get to yes is to evoke the emotional and visual experience of watching the movie on screen, of sharing that vision with them, that they see it, they see the movie. And just like when you see a movie on screen, you tell your friends, I loved it. You got to go see this. You got to get people to read that script and go, you got to read this script. We got to get this going. I want to see this. And you can't get their enthusiasm, you can't get their excitement unless they see the movie. And that is your job of the screenwriter. So we're going to talk about action lines, which is the bane of many people's existence, is the action lines. The first thing any reader does when they receive your script